Hello, hello. Oop, hold on a second. Hold on. Forgot my music. All right, I think I got it. Hello. There we go. There we go. Hello, hello. How we doing? Let me lower that just a bit. There we go. Hello, everybody. Hi. For folks who don't know, my name is Flax Bailey. I am your amicable animated scarecrow. Today we're going to be doing some art and also doing some fun chatting about my recent cover with NAJU. Oh my gosh, it's been so long in the making. Before I go into that, how does everything sound? Everything sound okay? Everything looking okay? I had to change around some settings for some stuff, but hope I sound okay. Hope the music's not drowning me out any. If it is, please let me know, okay? I overslept and called out of work, so everyone's like, nice. Everything sounds good? Okay. All right, I'm trusting you on this. All right. But yeah, just so... Hold on a second. I don't know if this is gonna show my settings really quick. Let me check something real quick. For folks who don't know, I recently did a duet cover, my first ever cover, like actual cover, with the very talented, very lovely, very amazing NAJU. She's been amazing throughout this entire process. I truly have enjoyed working with them so much. And to actually share a little bit about the process. First, let me pull up the main visual for the cover, because as I mentioned, I did the art and the MV. Not aside from just singing it, I did the art and MV for it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that process before going into drawing some more oshis and just drawing in general. So let me hide this really quick. Apologies. As I said, I don't know if this is going to show anything. And there are some stuff that I want to keep a little secret, but let's see if I can pull up the main visual. All right, there we go. Here we are. Let me hold on. Let me scoot out of the way real quick. Okay. That is. Oop, wrong thing. I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna place it up there. But yeah, this is the main visual for the art. This was back when I was still using Psy, and I still kind of do use Psy as my main art program. But I guess to sort of talk about the whole process, I think I was the one. Hi, I'm NAJU! Hello! Hold on a second. Let me do something real quick. You gave me power on YouTube. I'm firing that power back at you here on the other purple site. Let's see. Hold on. I can do this. Oh no, I can't. I don't know how to do this. But hello, NAJU. Hello. Hi. Oh, there we go. There's the power. There we go. Anyway. Oh, hello, barn cat. That's my foot. Oh my gosh, hold on. OBS is doing something weird. I can't exit out of things. There we go. You got a sword now. Yes, use it with skill and grace. But yeah. NAJU, if you have a chance, can you remind me if I was the one who approached you about the duet, or if you did? I feel like I was the one who was like, hey, can we do a duet sometime? I can't remember the exact conversation, but I want to say it was me who was just, I'm very much a baby when it comes to mixing and vocals and putting out music on my own. So I was like, I don't know how to do any of this. I don't know what I'm doing. Help. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. I asked about a duet, and you were the one that suggested Magnet, which, by the way, chef's kiss on the choice there. I I am what we would call a voca boomer, so I wasn't as familiar with a lot of more modern duets. Because you suggested quite a few, actually. You suggested a few, and I was just like, oh man, they all sound good. But my god, are some modern Vocaloid songs really, really hard. We have equal involvement. Yeah, I would say we had pretty equal involvement. And I think it was because you were like, oh yeah, let's just do the vocals. Let's do the vocals, and I'll do the mixing. And I think it was because you were so eager to do the mixing that I was like, well, I have to start pulling my weight too. I got to do something. I could do art. I could do art for this. But then even then I was just like, yeah, but that still doesn't feel like enough to really kind of like balance out the equation for all the work you were doing in the background for this, and on your own projects too, because that was the other thing. You said yes, even though you had a lot of other things on your plate, which I'm really, really grateful for. But I was like, I have to do something to also pull my weight around here. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn DaVinci, and I'm gonna do my best to make my own MV. So I sat down and was like, you know what? Time to start learning this program. I don't think I have the patience to try and learn After Effects right now. DaVinci itself is already such a beast that I was just like, oh no, oh god. I'm addicted to making covers. I can see why. It's a lot of fun. But to kind of go over some of the details, I wanted to kind of replicate the original, because that's the other thing. When I was like researching of like how I wanted this MV to look, the original song of Magnet doesn't have a very complicated MV at all. If anything, it's like very minimal editing. It's just the art for the most part. There might be some like cutaways if memory serves, but there's not a whole lot in terms of like, references I could go off of. And even like, but these days when you look at like people doing covers of like old Vocaloid songs, a lot of them are doing their own original MVs, which have a lot more of a budget and a lot more skill than I currently have. So I kind of had to like learn a whole program from scratch, and then two, figure out what kind of look I wanted to go for the MV. So I wanted to replicate the original kind of look of the art in the original MV, because for folks who don't know, Magnet has this the art style for the Magnet for Vocaloid, let me pull it up really quick, is like, to me, it's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It's a style that I don't necessarily have myself. Let me see if I can't save that image. Sorry, this is taking a bit. But it's an art style that I love, but I don't have myself. And I wanted to try to figure out what a good like middle ground between, keeping to my own art style and trying to replicate some. Yeah, here we go. So for folks who don't know, this is the original image. Sorry, it's a little blurry, but it's just the first one I could find. This is like the original image for Magnet. But as you can see, very much more of a realistic style than I have for my own art. So I had to find a nice middle ground between the two. And I ended up referencing a like the MV, I believe it's from Project Sekai. I think that there was a pose, or just a pose I referenced there. Now kick distance, yeah. I wasn't sure how comfortable NAJU was with that sort of stuff, so I wanted to keep it, respectable distance, leaving room for Jesus. Not really. Leaving room for Jesus in the lesbian, like, yearning Yuri song of Vocaloid. No, but I wanted to keep it like this, like I liked the as much as I love this intimate pose, it is it's one, a little bit of a hard pose to do, and two, I didn't know how comfortable NAJU was, and I wanted to get working right away, so I kind of found a middle ground there. And as you can see, I wanted to reference some of the details from at least the outfits. Like obviously the style, like we both are wearing 2 different colors, but I wanted to keep it monochromatic for the actual outfits regardless. At one point I was actually making like a full outfit reference for the 2 of us, but then I realized nobody would see it because it's just from the chest up anyways, so it really wouldn't matter. But the idea is, you know, obviously, like, I wanted to also contrast our styles, like, I wanted there to be a lot of, like, contrast between what we wore, and I also spoke with NAJU about, like, what kind of outfit did you want for this, and I think you gave me a really, really good, kind of like a mood board or like an outfit reference sheet to kind of look at, and it was a lot of really great inspiration, and I think I eventually settled on this like roughly sort of like top. I just realized you can't see my cursor. Hold on. Let me pull it back up. I settled on this like roughly top thing with the it's not shown here, but the idea that I wanted to go for was, you know, like the what's it called? It's not a bodice. Maybe it is a bodice, but it's like a bodice with like straps on it. I don't know the exact word, but it's kind of like a vest bodice thing. I'm not good with fashion. As you can see by giving myself just like generic punkish like vest. Okay, this is a little fun fact about me. I have no sense of style in my day-to-day clothes. Like, hold on a second. This is as stylish as I get in terms of like what I like to wear. As you can see, it's very, very minimal. I dress more for comfort than I do for style. But for this, I think I struggled more with what I should dress myself as than anything else. Cause like I said, I'm not very stylish and I don't really have a set like quote unquote aesthetic I go for whenever I dress. So trying to find what my version of like fancy wear, like as you can see with Magnet, because they're wearing really, really nice lacy dresses. I don't wear a lot of dresses and I definitely don't wear a lot of lace. So I had to find like what I wanted to do. But I think the thing that ultimately, the thing I ultimately like, I settled on was, well, if NAJU is going for this like really like, I think I ultimately tailored more of my outfit to kind of be like a contrast to what NAJU is. I had a rough idea, but when I sent NAJU some details, but as for myself, I was like, I gotta edit some things. I think that's how it went. I will say, we've been working on this for quite some time, so my memory of the exact like chain of events is a little fuzzy. Apologies. But yeah. And I think my favorite thing was try to find a good reference for the butterfly, what's it called? Headphones. Because as you can see, Miku's in her look doesn't have the headband to it, but Luca's does. And part of that I attributed it to, like, you know, maybe Miku's hair was covering up the band on her headphones, but neither of us have very long hair, so I couldn't hide the headphones behind hair. I mean, I could have if I really, really wanted to, but not gonna lie, this is also the let me get the magnet thing out of here. This is also the as silly as it sounds, this is the project that helped me discover my symmetry tool in Psy. Because I'm terrible at drawing like perfect circles. I don't know anybody who's good at it, but this was also where I discovered, oh, Psy has a really cool symmetry tool. And it's also how I did this like lacy border, which I want to zoom in on the detail. Oh, sorry, NAJU. Sorry, didn't mean to get so close. This was also where I got a lot of the details for the lace. Oh wow, that's a lot rougher up close than I intended. But as you can see, I got a little fancy with the actual lace, even though it's really, really hard to see in the actual MV. But I wanted to include like some of the elements, like I wanted to include this butterfly look, and I wanted to include this like heart look into this lace, because those were the two main images for the overall MV. Because in the original, let's see, in the original, I believe they have like this really intricate like lacy thing, and if you can see the background of the original art, they do have this like lacy border, but it's kind of like, you know, generic lace. And I wanted to do something a little bit different. In hindsight, I probably could have made this border a lot more like, I could have made it bigger and I could have made it more apparent. But overall, I'm still happy with how the background turned out, because it's visually very, I think it's visually interesting to some degree. And, you know, for my first time making art for a cover and for an MV, especially for a duet, I'm pretty proud of this. I'm pretty proud of this. Oh, I wanted to also say, NAJU, I know you mentioned this before, but like this is like, I worked with NAJU a little bit about like how they wanted to appear on the MV, because you don't have necessarily your own like Sona or like your own like official like look. So a lot of what I drew was just based off of what NAJU was like, oh yeah, I tend to, whenever there's like MVs, I tend to look like XYZ, I tend to do this, but I don't have a set one. So this was kind of like an amalgamation of those ideas as well. So I wanted to do that justice too. And yeah, what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, I can also talk about the actual MV process, because I also drew, hold on, let me hide this again really quick. I'm sure OBS doesn't show this, but just in case, I don't want y'all to see my files, one, because it's private, and two, because it's messy as shit. I will say, I think my one downside to drawing this is that I drew them together. I drew both of us together, but the problem is that I did not draw us individually, so I couldn't really I couldn't really separate us very much in the MV, and I think that's one thing. If I ever do a duet like this again, or just in general, I want to be sure I draw the individuals separated so I can do more interesting things with like the overall MV and like, you know, editing process. Let's see. Just want to zoom in on some details that I really, really adore. I think folks can like notice from my art style, I tend to really gravitate towards like this crayon, like this pencil crayon watercolor look almost. And I don't know how well I was able to do it over with NAJU, but I wanted to keep myself looking a little bit more like not real, I guess, in the sense of like I wanted more of my look to like feel artificial, which is why I kind of wanted to try to make NAJU's look a little bit more like human. I just got to my use, gotta go sadly. Have a good stream. Hey, good luck at uni. Good luck at uni. Thanks for stopping by. And thank you again for doing this cover with me. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I really could gush about this whole thing for ages. I apologize if I am rambling on about my work here, but it really was a lot of fun trying to figure out, you know, how to put pieces together. And let me close out of this for right now. And I guess, get educated. I guess, if anybody has any specific questions you want to ask me about like the MV or, the process of making the MV, like how I did specific scenes or anything like that, I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities, but just again, I have to emphasize, I am by no means an expert. I literally learned how to make MVs for this project, so this is my first time ever doing an MV, so I am by no means any expert at all. I watched a lot of tutorials is how I kind of saved my sanity. And even still, I don't feel like I know how to do a lot, but I'm getting better. And I'm hoping down the line for my next cover project, because I am working on another cover in the future. I'm hoping I can do more stuff for it. I'm hoping I can, you know, improve upon what I've learned here to make something really, really cool. But anyway, I'm gonna leave this tab open just, you know, in case folks want to talk about it. But I'm gonna pop over to this where I'm not. Okay, so I said I was gonna be drawing some of my oshis. And I will also apologize in advance because as you can see, this is not Paint Tool, or not, this is not Paint Tool Sci. This is not Paint Tool Sci, this is Clip Studio, which I'm trying to force myself to use more so I don't, my whole thing is I don't want to give my excuse of like, oh, I don't know how to use this program, so I'm not going to use it even though I spent money on it. I'm forcing myself to use it. I'm forcing myself to use it so I learn and not give myself an easy out. So anyway, one person I did want to draw for today, because their birthday's coming up, is Apollo Bugman. For folks who don't know, he's an indie who streams on Twitch. He is really, really talented, really, really funny, does a lot of really cool music, does a lot of really funny stuff in like roleplay servers and just funny streams in general. I don't get a lot of chances to watch him these days, but I really find him funny. I love his like kind of like, I love his humor. I think he's really, really fun. And I like how he's just very willing to try a lot of things, which is what I admire a lot in streamers. I feel like you have to be very open to trying things in this sort of sphere. By the way, don't mind me. I'm just pulling up a reference because for folks who don't know, he also got a new look. And I'm trying to find the reference sheet. Is this it? Yes, I know it's. Give me the reference sheet, please. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. And you know what? I'm gonna pull up. Sorry again for switching tabs a bunch. I'm going to art. There we go. I'm gonna quickly pull up how I did the little guys for the previous Oshi chibi drawings that I did. Is this it? Haha! There we go. Okay. Just to kind of give myself an idea of like what I did for the style. Okay. And pulling back the art back up. There we go. I kind of wanted to replicate this style I was doing inside, just like very, very cute, simple chibi, but also do it for Apollo. He's got for as cool as his image is, he's got like really, really cute features, I feel. I do feel bad a little bit that I haven't been able to watch him as much, but I really do think he's very, very funny and very, very talented. Or not talented. I'm trying to say that word a lot less around people that I respect, because I don't think talent is the right word. I think skilled is the better word for things like this. Where is image? Bug. There we go. Okay. Powerful. I guess that's a word too, but what I mean by like it's not the right word is that like all right, let me see this. I did a big old head, half body. So let's just do something like this. When I say like I don't like using talented as much, because talent implies to me you didn't have to do a lot in order to get the thing that you were trying to accomplish. And that's not what I want to get at either. And that's not what I want to like emphasize. Stop it. I'm still learning this program. It's annoying. I think whenever people say talented, what they're more acknowledging is the hard. I think it's better to acknowledge the hard work it took in order to get to that point where you're seeing the talent manifest. Rather than let's do a cute little like let's do a cute little pose like a waving pose. Do something like this where I think something like this can work, like for a cute little pose. Okay. I think it's really easy to say those sorts of things. Congrats on the cover. Oh my gosh, thank you. Sorry, when I first started streaming, I had a bit of a bot problem. Obviously, you know, new streamer and new bots things. So I had to set a timer for like the 10 minutes. I apologize. It was a measure. I probably can take that off right now, but thank you so much. Thank you. The cover was a lot of fun. Let's see. I'm gonna mess with that setting a little bit later. But yeah, when I first started streaming, I had a little bit of a bot problem. Not horrendously so, but I kept getting, like, every single time I would start a stream, I would get like a bot being like, this is how you grow your channel, and I'll be like, shut up, and I would have to ban them entirely because I don't play about that sort of stuff. I didn't want anybody get Seribot. I've thought about that. I don't stream enough that I think it warrants Seribot, and a lot of stuff I can do on my own, but I just thought, you know, for my own sanity, it was easier to just ban on the spot, because, you know, things are pretty slow around here, which I don't mind at all. It's free. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I like to do a lot of stuff manually, if that makes sense. Maybe it's just me being old-fashioned that way. Oh, I closed the program. Not what I wanted. Just gotta mod it and follow it. Does almost all the work. Oh, nice. Okay, good to know. I might try to implement that next time around, but for right now, I think I'm just gonna stick with what I do. Hold on a second. Why am I so bad at remembering details that I just saw 5 seconds ago? Oh, Jesus Lord. Apollo, you have very, very pretty hair, but why do you have so much of it in that shape? Okay. Let's see. It's got, I like his like little fluffy thing. He's got horns here, and then a second pair of horns, I believe. Yeah, but one is like bigger than the other. So, all right. And Barn Cat has decided he's going to settle on my lap, so that's great. And he's got kind of like this. He's got the swoopy bang sort of situation going on. Let's see if I set up my short keys right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Darn it. There we go. And then I always forget. Why am I forgetting his hair so much? Okay, yeah, it does go like that. I'm sure, like, getting the general shape of the hair is gonna be fine. Sometimes I can be a little bit of a stickler for accuracy, in the stupidest of ways, I feel. I gotta remember, it's more of, like, here with those horns, I think. And then he's got, like, a cropped... No, the jacket isn't cropped. His shirt is. His shirt is cropped. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, if folks don't know, Apollo's birthday's coming up, so I don't always do this, but every so often, whenever there's like an Oshi of mine has a birthday, I like trying to do a little something something because, you know, aside from just being a fan of them, it is nice to, you know, get a little gift on your birthday, I feel like everybody deserves to feel a little special on their birthday. So do I want to do a little mouth? Nah, I think I want to do big mouth. He's got a very, very fun smile, I would say. Very, very goofy, fun smile. So let me see. Oh, I forgot the ears. I forgot the ears. Sharp, pointy ears. Hair coming down, so I think this roughly gets the idea. Yeah, I think that's good for a draft. Okay. Now I just gotta remember to... Ugh. Getting used to a new art program after years of using one is messing with my mind so much. I'll tell you what, I am gonna save myself a little bit of trouble here. Oh, wrong thing. Let's see. Create new from clipboard. Did that do it? Yeah, there we go. This is Apollo's official reference sheet that I was referencing in another tab, and I realized I'm making this way harder on myself by not just bringing it into the same program. This will also help me a lot. Okay, let me zoom in. Here we go. Okay. Oh, he's got a little earring there. How did I never notice that one? How did I never notice that? Oh, I closed the program again. Dang it! Ah! Gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. Oh, does this have his little grubs? No, it doesn't. His cute little grub mascot thing. I don't know what you call it, but it is very cute. There we go. Hold on. Copy. Create new from clipboard. There we go. These cute little guys. And I'll have, you know what? I'll have it like kind of. Let me move those aside. Sorry. Oh no. No, not what I wanted. Hello, magnet. Hello, magnet. Get back on there. No. Oh my god. Pain, suffering. Hi, wee wee. Go over there. Pain and suffering in the highest form. Okay. I think what I'll do is... Oh, why is that? I'll do his little grub of like, you know, doing a little like hee 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 hee. A little mischievous. Oh wait. It's like... You know, hee 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 hee. And then little potato. I kind of do this for like really, really cute like pose where it's like that, and then a little tail is like wah wah. Oh wait, no, it's a little bit more segmented. There we go. Something along those lines, because I think that's really, really cute. Then it's very fluffy. It is a very, very cute little fan mascot design. I love it. It's very, very cute. It's very cute. Okay. Here we go. Oh, nope, not that. I love the little like angry brows too. Something like that. Yeah, I think something like that will be really, really cute. There we go. All right. Zoom out. You know what? I'm gonna move this over a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Alrighty. There we go. I also realized I jumped right into a yapping and didn't even bother to ask folks, how you doing today? Hope everybody's doing okay. My week has been a little on the wild side, to say the least. I had a lot of ups, had a lot of downs, but I think as silly as it sounds, I think releasing the cover helped get me out of a little funk I was in for a little bit. I don't want to go into too many details about the funk, but it's a lot of like real life stuff. It's a lot of like things not going quite as I want them to in some ways, and kind of dealing with that. But things are starting to be on the up and up right now. So actually, it's more like Barn Cat. What are you doing? Hey. Barn Cat, stop it! Stop it! Oh my gosh. He was fine on my lap. And then he was like, nope, no, actually I'm not. There we go. But yeah. I really do think releasing the cover helped my it helps me a lot. Especially seeing how many people had so many kind things to say. Now that Naju's not here, I will say there was a part of me that was like really anxious about singing with them, because to me they have such a really, really cool voice, and I was worried the difference between our skill levels was going to be more apparent on because I'm not as trained in vocal stuff as they are. And I also don't have an ear for a lot of music stuff in comparison. So that was something I struggled a little bit with. If anybody says anything mean, we throw them a wood chipper. Nah. I had a lot of moments of like self-doubting during this whole like process that I'm glad I pushed through them in the end. I'm very glad I pushed through. I am glad I pushed through the like negative self-talk in the end. Because I realized also it wasn't benefiting me to be so down about myself when, I heard a piece of advice ages ago that was like, don't give anybody, what was it? It was like, don't make people's first impressions for them. In other words, like, don't put ideas into people's minds before they've even, made up their mind about you. Like, don't open up a conversation with, I know this sucks. Or don't start a thing of like, hey, I know this is bad, but, cause you're not really helping anybody by doing that. You're not helping yourself by setting up an unrealistic sort of, what am I trying to say here? You're not helping yourself by deciding people's opinions for you, You're not helping yourself, and you're not helping the person by telling them how to think about you before they've even, made up their mind about you. So even though like I was really, really worried that I would encounter stuff like that, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about my vocals. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm sorry this sucks, or I'm sorry this isn't, XYZ. So and instead I was just like, here you go. Here's the vocals. Hope it works out. I hope everything works out for the mixing. And luckily, Naju was very, very sweet about everything, and helped me understand more about like, the whole mixing process, and a bunch of other things about like, what goes into mixing vocals, how to make everything kind of sound good together. So yeah. I will say there was a really, really fun back and forth, where like, I would be like, hey, NAJU, I'm still working, I'm still learning how to do this program, but here's what I got so far. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, this is really, really good. And then they were like, and here's a mix I got, so here's a mix that we've got done so far. Tell me what you think. And I'll be like, oh my god, this is really, really good. And it would just be like 3 or 4 of those back to back where we were just constantly spamming each other with updates, because we were just really, really excited to show off what we were doing, what we were up to and what we were doing and how everything was progressing at the time. So that also helped me take a lot of stress off of this whole process. It was really, really fun. Great collaborative effort. Exactly. I think if anybody ever gets the chance, or if anybody ever feels like, oh, I want to do a cover, but I don't know if I'm good enough yet, just do it. Literally just do it. You're not losing anything from trying. And it's like I said during my debut of like, don't be afraid to be seen trying. Don't be afraid to be seen learning a new skill. It's gonna be awkward. You're gonna suck at first, and that's the beauty of life. It's going to be terrible, and it will be amazing because you're going out of your way to try more than anything else. And that, again, it's something I really, really admire about folks who just honestly try. I would rather people honestly try than give up and say, well, I was going to fail to begin with. You don't know that. You don't know you're going to fail. You have no idea if you're going to fail. So why not try and see if you'll succeed at first? You know? Not to get all preachy or anything, but I do think the world could use more of people giving their honest effort versus, you know, immediately putting themselves down. I can't get these lines right. What is it? Okay, actually that helps. So it's... Alright, so... There we go. There we go. I think that's cute. Yeah, little knit. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I will say, I also wanted to draw another one of my Oshis today, while I'm thinking about it. For folks who don't know about raggy chiffon. I keep wanting to go chiffon. It's chiffon, like the cake. I wanted to draw raggy because when I was thinking about like Oshis that I have, I was thinking not just about like Oshis I have that like are streaming right now, but people I look up to in terms of like their art skills, of like their dedication to stuff. And one of the first like people that kind of like inspired me to like, how much can I say about this? They really inspired me to just try out a lot of different like art things, try out a lot of different things. And I think when I first saw her design, I was like, oh, Oh, VTubers can look like that. VTubers can have really, really creative elements like that. It was such a, her design, first of all, for folks who don't know, Raggy Chiffon is, she hasn't debuted yet, but she's a very prolific artist, very amazing and talented, I did it again. Very amazing, hardworking artist who has done a lot of, oh God, camera did not like that. Who's done a lot of really amazing art for folks like Junkin Palm, and a number of different VTubers. I'm blanking on names right now, but the most recent one I think folks might know her from is she did Junkin Palm's recent redesign, or his recent model update. Does this jacket have the tail ends of that? And so when I first saw her design, I was like blown away with how creative and cool it was, and yeah, I don't know. I really, really look up to like her skills as an artist. It's actually less of a jacket like that and more like this, I think. There we go. So I also wanted to draw her because she also, like, I also drew her when I was battling a bit of an art slump and some kind of negative feelings about my my art. So I wanted to draw her as well. How much detail do I want to draw? I think I'll draw at least this like warning label on here. So wait, is it on this side? Yeah, it's right about there. And then there's also one by his hand, but boop, there we go. All right. There we are. Really has such a fluffy design. It's very cute. Now the horns. This is the part I was kind of dreading. Ugh. All right, so it is. Oh, he's got the little man bun too. Forgot. There we go. I'll make them look more bug-like in a second. I'm woefully bad at drawing animal-like features on things. There, you know how some artists are like, oh, I can draw backgrounds, but I can't draw oh, it's more straight actually. Hold on. I can draw backgrounds, but I can't draw people. I'm the artist who is like, oh, I can kind of draw people. I can't draw I can't draw I can't draw animals like straight up. Okay. Yeah, okay. That looks more like an antenna, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I think bug features are really, really cool. I just can't draw them to save my life. Segment. Like I can understand how they're formed, sorta, kinda, but I'm kind of messy when it comes to actually drawing them. So forgive me. Don't put me in the stockade for drawing bad, please. Okay, and then is it from the side of his ear? No, it's a little further back. Okay, so it's more from like here. Okay, hold on, just to get the general shape. Actually, let me draw more of his hair so I get a better idea. Draw the rest of his hair and then go from there. Hey, I rhymed. Sorry, I'm locking in hard, I know. Give me a minute, I'll be there. Alright. Pull back a little bit. Hair, bun. There we go. Okay, now it's starting to look like the bug man. There we go. Oh wait, no, there's a little bit more of a... Wow, okay. And then... Oh, that actually turned out pretty bad. I think, yeah, from this side. You know what? I'm gonna do myself a favor and just do this on a separate layer so I can carve away what I'm trying to do. Okay. Ugh. Bug horns are hard. They're cool, but they're really hard to draw. Hold on. Let me... Sorry, bug. I'm just trying to get the shape. Okay. Why does that still not look right? It's really thin at the top here. Then it... Okay, yeah, I think that's more accurate. At least for my style, it's accurate, I guess. Let's pull it in a little bit. There we go. And then Control V or Control C, Control V, and then ooh, how do I flip this? What is the flip? Where's the flip function? Layer. Layer settings. How do I flip? Where's the flip layer button on is it here? Invert, expand, shrink, delete outside, cut and paste, copy paste, select and rotate? Oh, here we go. Haha! Yes, apply transformation. Okay. Oh. No more select the area. So move that over. I think right about there. Oh no, it's actually shorter. One of his horns is shorter than the other. So I gotta actually transform it a little bit. Tilt it. Transform right about there, I think. Yeah, okay. Alright, now to erase. Where was my lines? There we go. Oh, let's merge these two together. Because now that's where that is. And now I can erase these parts. Let me actually redo this part a little bit. There we go. And then do that. Oh, Sorry, you've joined the odd flax hour, the odd flax noises hour of the stream. There's no avoiding it. I would make these sounds to myself even if I was, even if I was just like on my own. Streamer noises, exactly. Oh, hold on, that's the wrong tab. There we go. Let's thicken that so it looks a little less weird. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Oh wait, no, it's one more over actually. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, and then how's it looking? I think it's looking cute. No, wait, hold on. Let me redo this part a little bit. Do I want to do a little? I think that's fine. His hair texture is like that, like halfway point between like wavy and straight. And I like drawing unique hair textures like that. But it is always tricky to figure out like what the balance is. Tell you what, hold on a second. Let me make that flick a little bit more prominent. Beep. There we go. And chat disconnected on my phone, so that's great. That's lovely. Love when that happens. Means I can't see y'all. Okay. That noise just activated my cat. Hello, barn cat. Hello. If y'all hear him whining, ignore him. He's fine. He's just pathetic. Let me do a little spiky over here as well. Yeah, and then maybe I could have, hold on. Yeah, I think something like that would make it more apparent of his long, luscious locks. Let's see, hold on. Let's see if I can imagine that. Actually, let me get rid of this part to make it blend a little bit better. No, I need that separation. Yeah, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Yep, there we go. What kind of cat is Barn Cat? He's orange. He's a very, well, he's not like orange in color, but, well, not as orange in color. He's just a, he's orange more in mentality than anything else. He's like a creamish color, I guess. I don't know. I had a vet describe his color as buff, and I don't know what buff is. When I first saw it on like his adoption papers, I was like, what are they describing? Like he's physically strong? And then they were like, oh no, that just means that's his color. His color is buff. I'm like, oh, what the hell does buff color mean? And they described it as just, oh, it just means it's light cream color sort of thing. I was like, oh, well, why not just say cream? Why not just call it cream? But I don't know. It's, you ever see those like these words to describe like patterns in fur or like, what's it called? Yeah, patterns in fur and other stuff. And you're just like, how the hell did y'all get that name? And it just came to like, it's probably some old English word that I don't have the time or patience to learn the history of, but every so often I come across these words. I'm like, how the hell did y'all get that? Sorry, I'm like focusing so much on this part. Also, I'm just like, nothing is doing this. I'm not getting the shape right, and it's bugging me. Oh, actually, hold on. I might have just done it. Wait. Did we get it? No. I think so. I think that might be it. I think something like that works for Apollo. Okay, I think that works. I think that works. There we go. There we go. And then he's got... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it's more like a jagged sort of look. And then he's got necklace. Wait, I just realized he doesn't have a collar. He doesn't have a stud. He has a studded shirt. Hold on. That is wild. I never noticed that. Oh, did my music stop? It did. Okay. Funny, I didn't know it stopped. Okay, hold on a second. Wikipedia, call it typical of buff. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Buff leather. Oh, okay, seeing that now, I'm like, okay, now I see why they call it buff. All right, hold on, let me get my music back in here. Oh wait, I vibe with this. Ooh. Oh wait, I like this playlist. Okay. Also for anybody curious, all of my playlists for art streams are coming from Moonlit. Let me here. Moonlit BGM Factory on YouTube. Hopefully that is visible. There we go. As far as I know, they do a lot of really they do free to use BGMs. So yeah. Ooh, hold on a second. Actually, hold on a second. Let me pause the music for a second. I just noticed something. Hmm. Let me Google something real quick, because I just realized they have a little tag on their channel that says sounds and visuals were significantly edited and digitally generated, which I don't like the sound of. Hold on a second. Give me 1 minute. I don't like how that sounds. So apologies for the lack of backgrounds. You know what? I think instead, let us shift over to something I know is not potentially generated, because we support real art and real artists in this household. Apologies for the lack of music. Just to get something going in here. There we go. Man, that's a bummer. I was using a lot of their music, but to know that, like, I was seeing, when I saw that little tagline, I was like, good to know. Okay. Damn it. Well, any case. And now we are... I know I'm gonna do more research in later, but just to make sure. But for right now, we're now listening to music from Stream Cafe, which puts in their puts the credits, not only the credits, but specifies that there is no AI in their video creation. So that is really good to know. So Stream Cafe on YouTube. I can type. All right, there we go. Damn, that puts a bummer. I was using a lot of their music, so I'm definitely gonna take note in the future. Sorry about that, folks. I'm gonna have to really, like, vet my music from now on. But yeah, all right, back to drawing debug. Part of the I will say, this music does remind me of, like, a little bit of me music. All right, and let's do, because he does have his tummy out. How about this? I'll draw up until the belt. Tummy. And then his belt, which is... Or not, it reminds me more of, like, Animal Crossing than me, I guess, is a better way to put it. Okay. Sir, why do you have so much of a deep V? What the hell are you doing? It's more of like a... Hopefully that'll get across the chain look a little bit. There we go. Chain. Easy chains. They look like chains for a distance, and that's all I care about. Man. Alrighty. Let's see. Yes, Barn Cat, I hear you. Shush, 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 shush. Shush, shush, shush. Shush, shush. Oh, and since this is actually a hood, let me add that little detail. I will say, I like the look of chibis, but it's always a mystery to me of, like, how much detail do I add and how much do I simplify whenever creating, whenever doing little chibis. Because I think it's really easy to, like, add too many details trying to be as accurate to the official stuff. But, finding that balance is always something I've struggled with whenever drawing chibis. Which is a shame because I really do like drawing chibis. I think they're really, really cute. Hold on. How did I do the eyes? Okay. Hold on. Let me do more of the eye. He's got a very wide smile, I feel like. Did I draw eyebrows? I did, okay. There we go. Now it's looking like the bug man. I know, I'll add the little details about his piercings and stuff a little bit later. I think for his look, I'm gonna simplify the actual, like... I'm gonna simplify the overall details, but I am gonna keep at least, you know, the colors, the shapes, stuff like that down. Since his hand is turned that way, you won't see that. Oh, shoot, I did it on the wrong part. Okay, no, it's this thing that has the, There we go. Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to turn down the music a little bit in my ear. I don't know if it's too loud for y'all, but it was pretty loud in my ear just now. There we go. There we go. Wait, did I do that right? Yes, okay, I did. Ah, no! I just realized. Ah, I messed up the horns. Damn it! It's the right horn that's bigger. Ah, okay, hold on. I can fix this. Wait, no, I got it. I have a way to fix this. It's gonna be really, really, really silly, but if it works, I'm a genius. No. Oh my god, it actually is working. This is so silly. Okay. Pull them back a little bit. Upwards a little bit more. Taller. Okay. There we go. Okay. I did it! Yay! Saved. Somewhat. There we go. This is why you gotta be careful about flipping so many times in digital art. You gotta be worried about flipping the canvas a lot, because you can very easily lose place of what you were doing before. All right, let's see. Oh, I just realized I'm a little bit in the way. Hold on. Zoom. Oh, wrong thing. Let's do a little like bit of hair back here. Right? Is that? Hello, barn cat. I hear you. I could do something like that. Hold on, let's see how this looks. You know, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. But I do gotta fix this part. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll separate this part and... What, barn cat? What? You've been fed. Shut up. Stop crying. You're fine. Actually, I don't like that as much. Oh, that's right, because this is the, that's the his little shoulder thing with the... It's like plaid. But I'll deal with that pattern when I get there. It's not actually hair, it's the plaid. Alrighty. Oh, and he does have a little... Oh, that means I did this wrong too. Shoot. Okay. Boo! Flax, get your head together. Boo. Oh, is that a schmutz on my screen? Or, yeah, that was on my screen. All right. There we go. Whee. Okay, yeah, that gets across what I'm trying to do. And then... I think that'll be fine if I just leave it like that. Heck yeah! Heck yeah! Heck yeah! Okay. Okay. Oh, this is looking cute! Alrighty. I have the fattest of fingers. I feel like, yeah, I sometimes struggle. I mean, obviously, because I don't, for folks, I don't, oh, hold on. Hold on. In case folks don't realize this, I don't have fingies either. Let me do a really quick little... Folks were confused. I don't exactly have fingers either. It's just hay. It's just hay and mitts. I don't have fingies. I don't have oh gosh, yeah, I have nubs. For anybody confused, I don't exactly have hands. There may have been a design error, so hold on a second. Let me go fix myself real quick. But yeah, I don't have, so trust me when I say I'm very used to fat figuring things. Let me, ooh, oh, that's not the button I thought it was. There we go. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, Which I will say is another thing, going back to the whole, like, what the stream was kind of about, of talking about the MV and art process. That was actually something I struggled with a little bit when I was drawing, because obviously one of the main aspects of the original pose in the MV, or in the original MV for Magnet, is that they had their fingers were intertwined. It was this very sweet gesture of like holding hands, but it's really hard to hold hands when only one party has a hand. So I had to get a little, it's the silliest part, I think, about the whole art. It's something that I still laugh about when I see it, because it's just like this really intimate song about, you know, forbidden love and yearning, and then you just, you look at the hands, and this is, like it's such a silly thing to laugh about, and ultimately it doesn't take away anything from the art, I think, but it is really, really silly that, like, when I was like figuring out scenes I wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I could do a close-up on their hands. Oh wait, that's gonna be a little funny. That's gonna be a little funky to see. Oh my gosh. So at least one person is doing forbidden hand holding. In a way, yeah, in a way, if you consider holding hands with a scarecrow forbidden, which you might. Listen, I mean, I'm gonna judge, obviously, because, you know, it's scarecrow bias, and we don't accept biases around here. We don't accept scarecrow bias around here. Hand being held before marriage. Oh, how scandalous. Yeah, we have no problem that it was, you know, two people of we have no problem that it was two queer people, but it was the fact that it was before marriage. Oh, that's really grinds our gears. Oh my gosh. All right. Tell you what, I actually need to go get some water really quick. So what I'll do is I'm gonna leave a bin notice, and you're just gonna have to admire this cute little guy here. I'm gonna keep the music going. It shouldn't be too long, so I'll be right back. All right, be back in a bit. Go stretch, go get water yourself. Be back. hello, hello. I'm back. There we go. All right. Wow. Got some water. Grabbed a little bit of leftover chicken. So, well, it's really dry though. Okay. All right, back to drawing. Back to drawing. Sorry, it was really dry, so I had to wash it out with a lot of water. But that's what I get for eating cold leftover chicken. Oh, let me get the BRB notice out of here. There we go. All right. Yeah, do I want that connect? Yeah, I think that's fine. Anywho, I guess what else can I talk about for the MV? Let's see. Oh, you know what? I will say this. When I was looking through, when I was looking for like inspiration of like how I wanted to do the MV, I did turn to a lot of different VTubers who I know have done these kinds of like covers in the past, which I will say I'm surprised not more people have done Magnet as a duet in the past, or because it's such an to me it's such an iconic Vocaloid song. Like, I know most people think of like World Is Mine as like the Vocaloid song in a lot of, or at least they used to. I don't know if people still do, but to me, like, World Is Mine and Magnet are like the two of the biggest Vocaloid songs, just because I just remember seeing covers of them everywhere. I remember seeing Nico Nico choruses. I remember listening to a lot of different people do those duets. My favorite, I will say, some of my favorites were when not just like guys doing that cover, you know, because I loved hearing their rich voices do it, but I did see one where it was guys but doing it in their falsettos, so they seemed so they sang in the original key, but they were doing it in their falsettos, so it created this like really like layered sort of to me it was a really cool take on the song itself, to do like, you know, guys singing it but still trying to sound feminine. Now, whether they were doing it to like kind of, you know, be jokey or just wanted to like flex their vocals, I don't know. But I just remember there was a cover I saw ages ago where it was two guys imitating using, I guess, feminine range is the best way I can put it, because it wasn't just their falsetto. It was the fact that they were taking on a more feminine tone to their voice as they sang. So that was a really cool interpretation I saw. It did make me realize, doing the MV process, it did make me realize of like, wow, there's a lot of old Vocaloid songs that, like, back in the day, making a flashy MV wasn't the focus. Everybody was more focused on like, how do I put this? They were more focused on the actual like making of the cover and making of the song rather than on the MV. And I won't lie, there is a part of me that like wishes we could go back to that a little bit. Now, it's not to say like, you know, I hate all MVs and all that stuff, but I do think there is a conversation to be had about like, you know, Vocaloid songs these days focusing a lot on the MV and using it as the main storytelling component or main aspect of their song, rather than treating it more like I think treating it more like what's the word I'm looking for? Not crutch, a helping hand. Treating it more like a helping hand for the song, rather than leaning on visuals to tell everything you want about this. I'm focusing way too much on this. Hold on. I gotta stop fiddling with this, but I do want to at least. gotta stop fiddling. I gotta stop fiddling. And I say as I fiddle more. Okay. What was I saying? But yeah, there is I was noticing this trend a lot. I think it was around the time that I think Mesmerizer got really popular. Maybe a little bit before then, but it was a trend I noticed in a lot of Vocaloid music that was more focused on, that had a lot of heavy focus on the actual MV itself. And while I do love the animation in a lot of these, and I like the way they're doing creative things with the MV to help tell the story of the song, part of me feels that I think there would be a benefit to stepping away from very heavily edited and animated MVs and more focus on the actual song itself. And I feel like I can also say this having done an MV as well. Because there was a part where I remember focusing really hard on one segment and trying to get like the perfect timing, trying to get all this down. And I think there was a point where I was like, why am I focusing on this one segment when it's not even the main focus of the when it's not even really a big part in the actual song? And I realized I was just making busy work for myself when I could just let the song be and let it tell the story on its own, let our vocals do the storytelling rather than relying so heavily on the MV and stuff. So there was a part where I did that, where I was like going back and forth about like how detailed I wanted to get. And obviously there was some stuff I just stopped getting detailed over because I didn't have the skill to do what I really wanted to do. But I think in a way that helped me from getting like too in the weeds about the MV itself. And I think you can even see that in like the main part of like the chorus part. Like where it like switches over into the like you said the hoshi, the shikanete hoshi. Like when it switches over into that, there was a part where I was just like, I really wanted to do this like intricate this really intricate like camera sequence, but I realized that would have been taking away too much from just how cool our vocals sounded, I think. And I really wanted that to be the main highlight. So yeah. I hope that the rambling is making sense. I've had a lot of thoughts on like MVs in general. Now, especially after doing one myself, I'm realizing I have a lot more opinions on them than I used to. Which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it's a thing. So, and you're fully free to disagree with me on some things of like, no, actually MVs help tell the story. And I'm like, you know what, you got a point there too. I do think that there's merits to both conversations. It's just something I was noticing as I was making the MV of like just how much of a focus there is on the art, the animation, and the MV itself. I think that's as much detail as I want to put on Debug Man. And now over to the grub. The grub is the thing I'm actually kind of worried I'm not going to be able to do, right? Because I've never drawn this little guy. It's really cute, but I've never drawn it. So give me 1 second. Stretching the wrist. Alrighty. So it's like a little, hold on, let me do a new layer. Bring it down. So it's like a little potato. Little potato. Maybe I'll do a little, that'll be one of the legs. And then a bulbous tail that kind of wonder, actually, can I get away with doing like a... Yeah. Ah! Again, I'm not good at drawing insecty looking things. I'm doing my best here. Weh. I keep... Sorry, Bugman. I need this one over more now. They got kind of like a chunky little face too. More of this kind of shape to the head. I think something like that. And then they got little sharp teethies. I need a thinner pen. What am I doing? Okay, I think that goes well with what I'm trying to do. They got kind of like these horns that... Something like that. A little bit wider. That's about right. Oh no, not even close. Gotta do a little. Yeah, I'm confidently doing this right? God, no. I think that's getting there. I think that's getting there. Ugh, gosh, why are horns hard to draw? Why? I'm whining. Oh, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. I'm seeing what I realize the errors of my way. Hey, this just in, if you change your pen settings to not draw thick lines all the time, things get easier to draw. More at 11. Okay. I think that is... No, not quite. I think that's good. I think that's good. All right. Then it's the collar. And... then from the collar is this eruption of fluff. So it's like a... I like that it's just very generically spiky. Makes my life easier. Never mind, it makes my life hard. Alright, hold on. Alright, hold on a second. Let me name my layers before I forget anything. Bugmen. Gwub. Grub. And actually, let's edit this guy. Make him a little bit more like right about here. Little sneaky baby. It's so cute and chunky. Oh no, I'm loving him. And then a little tucked out here. We'll just do a little tuft. Wait, hold on. How much of a tuft? Oh, actually, no, it's more than I thought. There we go. I think that works. I think that works. For what I'm trying to do, this works. And sometimes that's all you need. You don't need to be the best, you just need to do what you can do. Let me actually redo this part. There we go. And then erase some of these. Bring that back up. Meld that layer together. There we go. Alrighty. Alright. Had to get some water. Okay. Let's edit this a bit. I'm trying not to be so particular, but I will say there is a little pressure trying to do stuff for your Oshi's birthday, and you know, trying to make something nice, you know. I know at the end of the day, it's more about the gesture than anything else, but I still want to do something. I still want to, you know, do good, you know? And I know I've there's been a number of times where I've like chickened out from doing stuff because especially for like my oshis or my role models or whatever you want to call them, I've chickened out about doing stuff because I'm like worried, and this is such a stupid worry to have, but it's like this little worry of like my stuff's not gonna be good enough, I can't do it. And again, it's that whole negative self-talk that I'm trying to get better at not doing immediately, to myself more than anything else. So, sometimes being your own worst critic is the worst. Like, yes, sometimes it's good to criticize yourself. I think I think knowing how to criticize yourself effectively is how people grow. But at some point, it does become like you're just being mean to yourself, and you know, you gotta be nicer. You gotta be nicer to yourself. World is already mean enough. No need to add to it by, you know, kicking yourself when you're down. Again, not to preach or anything. I'm just little things I've come to realize. And then little scamp open eyes. Not quite the eyes. Let me try the other side. Hold on a second. This one's familiar. Where have I heard this one? Here we go. All right. Self-reflection is good. Self-deprecation is rough. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There comes a point where like your negative self-talk is not helping you at all, and sometimes it can be hard to acknowledge like at what point is your criticism turning into like, you know, into something bad for you ultimately. And I think that point looks a little different for everybody, but my general rule of thumb is like, if my negative self-talk is keeping me from doing things, even if I know I will have fun doing it, that's when I know I need to start like reining it in. Like, okay, good example. I almost, to be a little transparent about my debut is that I almost didn't, or I almost went ahead and published my, the cover I was going to be doing on debut. But I didn't end up doing it because I was like, hey, no, I know I can do better. I've improved a lot since I first made this thing, but I want to take a minute to, I want to take some time and redo things so that I know that it's going to be up to the level I want it to be. Meanwhile, which is different than, you know, backing out of like projects and immediately being like, well, no, I can't join that because I'm not good enough. That's when, you know, negative self-talk is starting to be at a detriment. You know? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Alright, little spikes. Okay. There we go. Little spiked collar. Cutie. Alright, and now the part I've been dreading this entire time is the goddamn tail. There we go. Alright. Let's do a new layer for the tail. So I have an idea of like how I can draw the tail a little bit more segmented looking. Hold on. Grub, go invisible for a second. Ah. 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 I think that kind of works. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a little thing at the end. Wait, that kind of works. Wait, this actually worked. Holy crap, that actually worked. I gotta shrink the tail down a little bit, but wow, that actually worked a little bit. Now I gotta squish it a little bit. Not quite right. I love its chunky whittle tail. Slowly becoming a cat. You know, it's funny. I have gone that I'm not like a cat in that I'm nonchalant about a lot of stuff. It's that I am a cat and the noises I make are very cat-like. The toxoplasmosis. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what I'm doing necessarily that are inherently cat noises or cat-like. It's just it's just sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. I really don't. I don't know why I get like I'm very cat-like. I feel like I'm too energetic at times to be, or at least I feel like I'm too energetic to be cat-like. Oh, hold on a second. Do that. Okay, so it does. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta get this tail right. Hold on. Let me actually edit the tail. Here we go. I think that'll be right. I don't even know what I'm doing necessarily to make myself very cat-like, but I have gone that I am very cat-like from a lot of people. Specifically that I'm orange cat, which I don't know if that's just their way of calling me stupid, but you know what? I know I cannot. I know at times I'm not the brightest, so. All right. Let's see. Let's fade the tail a little bit. Oh, actually, hold on. I need to adjust this a little bit more. Oh, you know what this music actually does remind me of? I don't know if folks know about the artist Louis Zong. I mentioned him during my debut, but I really like Louis Zong's music a lot. He does a lot of really interesting sort of a lot of really interesting kinds of music and different kinds of albums. Truly, I have yet to see anybody like be as creative when it comes to coming up with like album concepts and the like. So I don't know. I really enjoy his stuff. All right. No, that doesn't quite look right. Ah, why is this tail so hard to do? I know the shape. I kind of want to do like this shrimp, like silly. Yeah. I know the tail is like ultimately. I want to do this like cute little shrimp-like shape to the little grub, like a little sort of look, but this tail is giving me so much trouble. Maybe I just gotta make it smaller. Okay. Sorry, I'll stop complaining in a second, but until then, enjoy me whining, I guess. Okay, I think actually that works. I think this might work. Aha! Aha! I've done it! By George, I've done it! Sorry. I just realized I screamed right into the mic there. By George, I think I've done it! They've done it! Great Scott! I love all those, like... I don't know how to describe them other than, like, inventor shoutouts. like very posh sounding, like, you know, the Great Scott by George! Those sort of things. I've always loved whenever people use those in media. I think it's really silly. I love it. Ba-ba. And there we have a grub! Actually, hold on, wait. Let me tuck the tail in a smidge more. Let me push him a little bit more in. There we go. Okay, yeah, that works better. Difference. Yeah. That's what we want. That's what it is. And there we have the lines. The lines are done. Yay! Britishisms. I don't know if it's specifically British because I do hear a lot of that sort of like talk. Oh, didn't mean to close the program. I hear a lot of that talk as well from what's it called? In like the transatlantic accent. You know, the accent that was kind of developed for radio stuff. Where they enunciated everything a very specific style. I hear some of that popping out in transatlantic accents too. Okay, actually, give me a second. I just realized I haven't saved this entire time, and I don't want to lose any of this progress. So give me a moment. Boop, 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 boop. What are we saving this as? Let's save it as Oshi Doodles. Oshi Doodles? There we go. Ready? Okay. Wait, how long have I been going for? Wow, I've been going for 2 hours already. You know what? I can still go for some more. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll probably do the coloring. I'll do the coloring second, but first let me do Raggy now. Let me do Raggy. All right, I'm gonna keep these tabs open just for references. And let me get Raggy Chiffon. All right, Rags. Where? Raggy? I think her design is like super cute. I really adore it so much. Okay, from clipboard. But yeah, for folks who don't know, this is Raggy, one of my art Oshis, I guess you could say. I really adore her style. Both, you know, her actual model style and her art style. Also, extremely talented vocalist, extremely like hardworking vocalist. I think she's gonna be in an upcoming upcoming birthday concert with Riki Poppet. That's so there's gonna be a lot of VTubers at that one, and I'm so looking forward to it. Oh my gosh, when I saw her name on the list, I was like, Riki. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. But let's go ahead and also I think she probably has like one of the cutest gosh darn mascots. Cause they're called buttons and they're just little buttons. They're They're so cute. Let's see if I can pull up a good picture of the buttons. Buttons. Where are the buttons? Where's the original buttons? Because they're just so gosh darn cute. Here we go. Buttons, like buddy and button. So here, let me pull this up in the other tab. Here they are. Like, look how cute they are. Look how cute. Hold on. Look how cute they are. Look. they're just little guys, little buttons with strings, and I think they're so gosh darn cute. I could just eat them up. They're so cute. I think cute mascots and you know fan mascots go a long ways for VTubers, but I think especially for like okay, I can get rid of that draft layer. And this will be, yeah, that'll be the draft. And hers is like so gosh darn cute. I love it so much. Okay. So we got the bug man, and then down here will be Raggy. So what kind of I want to do like a oh, what kind of pose should I do for Raggy? First of all, let's see. How do I want her and her? Because I really do like this, like drawing the person and their mascot. So yeah, maybe like hugging the little button close. Yeah, maybe something like this. Just hugging the mascot close. Yeah, I think something like this would be cute. All right, let me do a little bit more detail. But so her hair. Oh, get those over here. Her hair is like really intricate, but I do love the texture of it so much. It's just so cute and like such a creative take on like design for because obviously she's meant to be like, you know, like a rag doll. So I think it's just such a cute little like just such a cute design. I love it so much. I could gush for her. Yeah. Oh, did my music stop again? Okay, hold on. Let me find some more music. Let me find some more music. Da, 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 da. Hmm. Is this? Let's see if Stream Cafe has some more we could listen to. Oh no, don't play, don't play, don't play. Don't play. Oh, okay, they do have a lot actually. Let's go with this one called Lily Pad. That sounds cute. Affinity for constructs. That's a way to put it. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, rags got to stick together, I guess. Burlap and rags got to stick together, or at least support one another. Not really, not really. But I will fully admit a lot. She inspired me a lot with designing myself. If you couldn't tell, I got a lot of inspiration from her work. So I hope she doesn't see it as like, oh, I'm trying to copy her at all. But it is I will fully admit I got very inspired by her design to start really looking at my own. Squint really hard. I think you can most see it in the eyes. Hold on a second. Let me make myself a little bit bigger so you can see. Because she also has like a button eye thing going on, and I kind of have it. I didn't really emphasize it very much. I've hired this scarecrow to stare at you. You can sort of see agriculture thing. Yeah, I guess so. But let me. There we go. But I do think that a lot of my inspiration I will fully attribute to her. And at some point I do want to like I do want to like full on say like, hey, listen, Raggy, you inspired me a lot to look the way I do. To peel back the curtain a little bit. In that regard. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, this is cute. Okay. Okay. Raggy senpai. Oh no, I understand the concept of like using senpai and kohai and all that stuff. I personally never really vibed with it as much. One, because we're in two completely different, like, I feel like when it comes to indies, using that like senpai kohai culture doesn't really work as much. And also, I have never been the idea of like trying to put people up on a pedestal. Let me switch up back over to Arn. I don't like the idea of putting people up on such a high pedestal that they become like unreachable, to say the least. It's always been something that like I try to avoid doing as much as I can. Because it's a feeling I've never enjoyed, like being put up on a pedestal, so I don't like to enforce it onto others. Which I know is like, I do realize, and I do fully like acknowledge of like, oh, it's a little hard to avoid that sort of relationship dynamic in this sort of sphere, because it's so, well, it's so heavily influenced by Japanese culture and Japanese work culture in a lot of ways, and idol culture for that matter. At least in this part, at least these days, I think it's moving away from that. But the idea of like, let me make that a little bit bigger. Oop, wait, did I? No, wrong layer. There we go. Just the idea of like, and I get the whole point of like quote unquote idols is to do just that. But to me, it was something that I've just never vibed with fully. So, yeah, I'll drop it every now and then as a joke. Yeah. But in general, I try to treat people with, you know, I acknowledge people like there's like definitely like, oh yeah, you are definitely more senior in this position than me. But I also don't want to put, I don't want to make somebody feel like they're so disconnected that they end up like feeling like alienated. Because that's another feeling I really, really hate, that alienation feeling. That alienated feeling. I feel like making somebody feel like an other in any capacity is like the worst feeling ever. And it's something I actively try to avoid doing as much as I can, you know? And then, yeah, something like that would be cute for the... she's got a little skirt, so maybe I'll do a little bit of the skirt flaring up. Or maybe I should just keep it at the... Yeah, I think just keeping that length will be fine. Yeah. Oh, oh wait, that's cute. Wait, I really like this. I really like this look now. Oh, this is such a cute little expression. Wait, I really like this. I really like this expression. Oh no, this expression's really, really cute. Oh. There we go. Then the little button, which is just so stinking cute. There we go. Little... I think something like that will be cute. Hold on a second. Let me erase some of this just so I can see what I'm doing better. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. I really like this. I really like this a lot. Okay. Whee! All right. And then Raggy. Raggy. There we go. Alrighty. All right, hold on a second. I need to stretch. Okay. All right, back to business. Right. Now, I will say the one thing about Raggy's hair I have to keep in mind whenever I draw her really is that like I have to find like the balance between drawing every individual like strand and driving myself insane. To put it really simply. Because she does have a lot of like individual strands of hair, so I have to like find that like middle ground. Though I really, really, really do love the texture of her hair. It's really cool. And like I said, it's really creative in terms of like how it fits in with her design very well. Actually, hold on. I just realized. She's got like a strand, like a series of strands that come down like a bit more. So they come down a little bit more like here. And maybe like there's also one that like flicks over to this way. Kinda. Hello, barn cat, back again to bother me. He's actually being good right now. Just rolling around on the floor. Ugh. Oh my gosh. It is weirdly like warm in my shed today, and I'm just ugh. I don't want it to be warm weather. I don't want it to be warm weather yet. I want my winter back. Like, I know there's some people that are like, oh yeah, but winter is when I have my seasonal depression. And to that I say, well, summer is when I have my seasonal depression. Which is kind of a half joke, but hold on a second. Let me do this. To me, I always find myself way more low energy in the summer and in spring and summer. This may shock folks, but I'm not built for heat. Hay can keep you sort of warm, but you know, I don't got blood. I don't got blood pumping through me, so I can't. That's not keeping me warm. So I gotta take my warmth where I can get it. But at the same time, it means that I can retain a lot of heat. Someone's like someone stuck in the swamps of the South would say. No, just somebody who really doesn't like the heat would say. I think anybody who's ever dealt with even a dry or humid heat, sometimes people are just not built for hot weather, regardless of whether or not it's humid. But I have experienced my fair share of humidity, which is to say that, like, I will take freezing my ass off over boiling alive, or as close as boiling as hay can get to boiling. I will take that over any sort of like heat any day, because I just don't like the heat. I just don't like the heat, man. It's not fun. And there's only so many layers. I know this is more of a problem for humans than it is for scarecrows, but even still, there's only so many layers you can take off in the heat before people start looking at you funny. And by that I mean very, very few layers until people start looking at you funny. So yeah, it's so much easier to layer up in the cold. It's so much easier to layer up in the cold. And plus, that's when you get some really cool jackets. That's when you get some really, really cool jackets. You get lots of blankets. You get lots of hot cocoa and lots of coffee and stuff to keep you warm from the inside out. I think that's way more enjoyable than trying to survive and be like, give me the coldest water you can. If it hurts my teeth, fine. Not that I have teeth to hurt it these days, but you know. It's what I hear humans saying a lot. Alright. And okay, I think I'm happy with how that's looking. Oh, hello, barn cat. Come to keeping me company? we go. Okay. And then I think I am starting to get more used to using Clip Studio. But it is still one of those things of like I keep having these like reflexes that I learned from doing Paint Psy, which is how I originally started doing digital art to begin with. Buff Barn Cat, he's BBC, yeah. But what was I saying? It's really hard to adjust your brain to a new program, especially one you've been used. Like if it's one you're like trading one program for another after years of doing things one way. So I'm trying to train my brain more to get used to this sort of thing, because I realized a while back that I was hitting this wall with this annoying wall with Clip Studio, or not Clip Studio, with Psy, because well, to give some background, Psy is run and I believe developed by a single person who is like very like, I mean, kudos and dedication to the person who's doing it, but like they're a little on the slow side when it comes to upgrading or updating things, which means that like there's a lot of like things I wish I could do in Psy, but I just the technology just isn't there yet for Psy. And it got really frustrating to constantly see people doing these incredible things in Clip Studio, and I'm just being like, I'm making do with what I can do. But in a way, I guess it also did teach me how to be a little bit more creative with my brushes and like stuff like that. So I'm both grateful that I started on Psy, on something as minimalistic as Psy, because it helped me develop more of my art. But there is part of me that's just like, man, I could have been doing so many more cool things with Clip Studio if I just bitten the bullet a little bit sooner. How do I want that to look? Wait, hold on. Strand. I gotta map out the strand really quick. Yeah, I think that works. There we go. What was I saying? But yeah, I do think that like at some point, like, yeah, I feel like it falls into that whole conversation of people being like, well, there's no point in learning guitar, or there's no point in getting a fancy guitar if you don't know how to play guitar. I'm like, okay, yes, that's true. But at some point you are going to hit a ceiling of what you're able to do with your skills can outgrow your tools. I feel like that's not a crazy thing to say. And you know, some people will see that and be like, okay, well then I'll just get really creative with my tools. And to those people I say, hey, good on ya. I'm not that creative or clever. I can't do that myself. Let me adjust this really quick. There we go. I'm not that creative or cool in that regard, but I applaud people who are able to do that. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's make it like she's like rubbing her cheek against the button. There we go. Let me actually move the face up a little bit. Hold on a second. Actually, I feel like I'm messing up her hair somehow. I think it's a little too long. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. Alrighty. I keep forgetting to stop shrimping and, you know, breathe. I hear that's important. Actually, hold on. Let me work on the actual, like, face real quick. The little button hand is going to be coming up like that. There we go. Okay, that's looking cute. Hold on, actually, let me... Actually, because it's like the little tiny eyes, let's do... You all see the image I'm trying to go for, right? Like this little cute, like, squish mouth. Squishy. Ah, why can't I get the mouth right? Okay, I got the mouth right. One would think having a stick up your straw will keep you from shrimping. So fun fact, only the lower half of me has those sticks. Everything else is pretty much like, a floppy sack of burlap with straw inside. The only sticks I really, cause I mean, I think about it, I don't need a stick up my back when I'm just walking around, and I mean, I guess it would help. So bottom heavy, hey! Yes, but hey! No, yeah, I only have, just show it off a little again, because I realize it's been a while. Let me see. Give me 1 second. In case folks didn't realize this, there we go. Wait. I never realized how ridiculous this looks just from an upside down standpoint. Oh my god. But no, those are my stumps. Those are my sticks. 2 sock puppets, but they're boots, pretty much. on, let me get right side back up again. Oh no, wait. Oh man. So a little behind the scenes of like another thing I just remembered from my debut is that at first when I was first like learning to rig and all that stuff. Get out of here, barn cat. When I was first learning to rig and all that stuff, I wanted to see if I could do a toggle where eventually this just became something I was like, I just didn't have the time or patience to learn, but I want to try to do in the future. But I wanted a toggle where I would flip upside down and then my boots would come rocketing off and all you would see is my stumps. All you would see is my stumps. And it was the stupidest idea I ever had. But I was like, it almost happened. It almost became a reality. But like I said, I don't have the time or patience these days to learn to do that. But I think if I ever get around to like doing a redesign or re-rigging or whatever, I might try to do that just because it's such a stupid idea that I have to do it. I have to. Sometimes stupid ideas can be this. Yeah, and I know. And I think I gotta stop chickening out of doing the stupid thing. I think I've gone long enough doing like the smart thing all the time. I'm allowed to be a little stupid. I think I'm allowed to be a little bit of stupid as a treat. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta get Barn Cat out of here real quick. So BRB. Okay, I'm back. All right. All right, back to art. I keep getting distracted. I'm sorry. Okay. You know what? I'm actually gonna erase some of these, Oop, that's way too big. I'm gonna erase some of these lines on Raki's head because I realized I'm overcomplicating her hair a little bit for the chibis that I'm drawing. And I really don't need that many. And let's just do it down here. There we go. I think a few here and there help, but I think overall I'm gonna ease up a little bit. There we go. And just make sure the lines at least look good. There we go. Now we're in business. Actually, hold on. One more tiny detail. Is this line not lining? There we go. Okay, I like that a lot more. But now back to drawing Raggy and her button. You use OBS, yeah. Yeah, I use OBS. I don't know any other program that I could use for streaming. I don't even know if there is one that I could be using for streaming. I'll admit, I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to these sorts of technologies. If I see one program that like everybody's using. I will try to learn that just because I know there's going to be a lot of tutorials for it in comparison. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh, I love all those puns. Almontis. Oh my god. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. And then back to hair. I think having those two, I'll do like that one. I'll do this like a little lock part here, and then I think that will be enough to convey. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. This little hand there. I think, yeah, let's bring the chin in a little bit more. Or not the chin, the jaw. Ba-ba-ba. All right. Whee! All right, da-da-da-da. Okay. Sorry, I was checking an email on something I got. Okay. Whee. I am starting to get a little hungry. So I think my goal for right now is I'm gonna try to get as much done with the line arting as possible, and then probably at another date I think, or just off stream in general, I'm gonna do the rest of the colors and stuff like that. Okay. Alright, that's the face. Because I also just realized it is getting a little later in the day for me, and I probably should eat something more than just little bits of chicken. I'm realizing that's the only food I've had today. Whoops. That and some coffee that I had earlier. So, whoopsie doopsie. I gotta fix that. There we go. And then... I'm stretching again one more time. Oh no. Yeah, I probably should finish up the lines because I'm also starting to get a little on the stiff side. Ugh. It's not good. How does oh, it's from behind. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. I actually gotta fix this. Hold on. Actually, let me just. Ooh! Whoa! 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 Wrong thing. Wrong thing. Is there a circle stabilizer tool that I don't know about, that I should know about, that I want to know about? No. I'm just gonna yellow it. Actually, hold on a second. Let me look at a button one more time. Okay, hold on a second. Whew. Ah, why are circles hard to draw? I hate circles. Hate them! Sorry, I got passionate there. Hold on, is there a shape tool I can use? Curve ruler. Symmetry ruler. God, no. Well, I could try this. Hold on a second. Oh, okay, hold on a second. This can actually help me. Oh, yeah, okay, that works. Hold on. Nope, never mind, it made it worse. Oh, but that is cool. All right, good to know that's what that tool does. Is there just a special ruler? Parallel line. Radial circle, concentric circle. Is that? Oh, there we go. Oh, no. I'm now drawing. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, consent. Thank you. Now, how do I turn this part off? And then merge. Okay, how do I turn off this? How do I turn off this this ruler? How do I turn off the ruler? Oh my god. The downside of learning a new program. I don't know what any of these tools. Oh. Yeah. Have heard of my Oshi? No, I haven't. What is that? Oh, is that? No, I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, I've never heard of my Oshi. How do I get rid of this ruler? Delete ruler? Oh, there we go. Okay, problem solved. Nope, not all of it. Just wanted some of it. Oh, wrong. There we go. Yeah, I'll deal with that. Freeform. Boop. Let's bring him in a little bit closer, actually. Just to really make it feel like she's pressing into her cheek. And get rid of that. Actually, I'll just leave the like. I'll leave the little. Sorry, I'm like locking into this. I just realized I went real quiet there. Whoopsies. because the mouth is... Because the button's mouth are not really like mouths. They're more like the strings just forming the mouth. But that is a lot trickier to do than it looks. Wow. How in the hell? Raggy, how the hell did you do that? Okay. Okay, I think that works. I think that works for what I'm trying to do. I'm trying not to get down into like the pixels of things, but I do want to add at least a little bit of detail where I can. There we go. Okay, I think that works. Yeah. There we go. Okay, now it's shaping up. Now it's shaping up. There we go. Okay. There we are. Yeah. Stretching the wrist, stretching the wrist. Wah. Alrighty. Okay. Now erase that. Erase that. Okay. That's her hair and her face down, so I think I can combine the two now. Combine. Here we go. All right. Oop. Alrighty. Now we're getting down to the actual like drawing of it. Oh. go. I just realized I'm drawing a lot of baggy sleeves lately, which is not a bad thing. I've just noticed that, like, I'm noticing a trend in what I'm drawing. Maybe it's time I start learning how to draw other kinds of sleeves, but baggy sleeves just look so cool. Ugh. There we go. Can't get lines right. There we go. Okay. Never mind. Tantrum over. Alright, hold on. I need to stretch my wrist one more time. Probably should adjust my grip a lot more. Rather than trying to what am I saying? I do have a tendency to like grip my pencil or my pen a little too tightly whenever I'm drawing, which is probably why my mitts hurt. My mitts hurting. Maggie, how does your shirt go? Oh, okay, that's right, that's right. She has the little belt. And then half shirt in the center. Maybe not as choked up there. There we go. That can be the like tail. I think that's fine. What if I actually hold on? What if I move the mitt a little bit closer? Move the thing in the thing. Move it a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. I hope folks have been having fun though, at least listening to me like ramble on about the MV and the stuff. I don't know what else I should be talking about when it comes to the when it comes to like the MV and the whole process of recording. Well, I guess I could talk a little bit about the recording process and how that went, if folks would be interested. Let's see what else. So, oh, you know what? I can't talk about that. So, when it came time to actually record for the song, because we were talking like about doing this cover for a while, but neither of us were in like a whether it was like uni stuff or if it was, you know, me moving to my current shed right now, or just a bunch of other stuff getting in the way. Because when I say this duet was in the talks for a while, I do mean it was in the talks for a while. So it got a little like, there was a point where I was worried about like I got worried about bothering NAJU of like, hey, are you still down to do this? Are you still interested? And of course the answer was yes, but I didn't want to bother them, especially when they were in the like middle of uni stuff and like trying to focus. So I had to like I had to really like kind of sit around, twiddle my thumbs there for a bit. But eventually we got around to recording, and a really quick issue that I ran into was that the original key of Magnet is really, 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 really high for me. I know it might not sound like it, like my voice. I know my voice can sound kind of high at times, but I really don't have a very good high range. Whenever I was doing singing, like whether it was in choir or what have you, I was always the alto. I was always in the alto section. So what that meant was that what that means is that like my lower section, I feel confident about my lower range more so than my higher range. So when I started listening to the to Magnet again, I was like, oh yeah, I remember really liking the song. Why is it so high? What the hell? So that was something. So we eventually decided, hey, let's just drop it down like 2-3 octaves, or well, let's put it at -3, I think. Because when I was like, hey NAJU, I'm really sorry, I don't think I can hit this in the original key, and then NAJU was like, yeah, me neither, we can drop it down. We can drop it down. And it turned out for the best, I think, because I think it let us play to our strength in like being able to like belt out stuff. Like I will say I'm not the best when it comes to belting, but there is a range where I'm definitely more comfortable in. So I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that a lot. I did enjoy being able to like sing more comfortably in my range, to say the least. Why am I messing with this? Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm done with that. I think, and then I just gotta do a little stitching on the sides. Oh, my Oshi is a social media for VTubers, kind of like VGen. Oh, interesting. That sounds cool, but I'm already juggling like enough social media as is. I'm actually trying to do less social media just for my own sanity. But I think I did see that going around actually, now that you mention it. So I think it's cool. I really, you know, kudos to folks who enjoy that stuff. I'm getting to a point where like I need to be away from social media more. Figured out assets I got in figure out. Yeah. Thanks for asking, but I think I'm good. Plus, while it would be nice to know more VTubers, I'm in the VTuber space. Yeah, technically, but it's still not like a main focus. Like I consider myself a hobbyist at best. Because as much as I love this and I love this creative output or this creative outlet, it's 100% not my passion. And I don't want folks to like to get the wrong idea about like what I'm trying to do here, or just I'm just trying to keep things kind of like easygoing, because like I said, my main passions are elsewhere. I've got enough duties here on the farm. I've got enough duties with IRL stuff that I think, as much as I like VTubing and I really admire folks who go all in on it, I'm just a little guy, just a little hobbyist. Duty. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What am I forgetting? Oh, shit, the dolls. Raggy, these are really cute details, but why do you have full dolls in your hair? Why? Okay. How's that look? Oh, I actually don't hate that, but I think I'm better off just leaving it. Yeah, I think I'm better off just... Actually... Hold on a second. Let me test something real quick. Oh, hey, I don't hate that, actually. Let me do that a little bit more. I actually like this. Alrighty. Alright, so they're about like, one's like right here, little bun. Oh, and it's got little hair too. That's how it goes, right? Oh god, that's so blurry. I need to pull up an actual better. I need to pull up a better reference for Raggy. I need to pull up a better reference. Get out of here, Bugman. Raggy, dear. Open image, a new tab. Oh wow, that's a much better. Hold on a second. Let me do this for my own sanity. Let's close out of this one. How do I exit this? No. How do I exit the layer? I don't need this guy anymore. Open from... There we go. Oh my god, I was struggling to see details. Okay. How do I close this tab? Maybe if I do it like this and then there we go. Don't save. Okay. Boop. Okay, so the dress is more like I'm gonna simplify the dress a lot more though. Just for my own sanity. Oh, music ended. All right, let us do this one called Match Point. Oh, cute. Okay. Okay, so it's two little things and then... Actually, hold on. There we go. I think that works. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare to color later, though. Yeah, I think I like that more. I like that more. For my own sanity, what I'm gonna do is play the classic Control C, Control V, and then flip it. Okay. And then move. Nope. Get rid of selection. And then move it over to the other side and hide it a little bit. Shrink. There we go. Just have it like peeking out of the hair like there. And let's see how it erases. Haha! I'm genius! Actually, let me move this little guy in a little bit more. Just a wee bit more. Yes, it's barely visible, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Oh wait, this is really looking cute actually. What the heck? This is looking really, really cute. And then I think she's got like two little danglies. Oh no, it's just the one. There we go. Ah! Yay! Oh my gosh. Yee. Okay, I'm really happy with how this looks. I'm really happy. Okay, let me just get that down there in a little bit. Okay. Just realized I did earn a slightly different pen overall. I've got to be more consistent about that, but let's move her up a little bit so that she's at least here. Oh, wrong thing. It's shift. There we go. Wait, actually, hold on. Move her up. Scale. Oh, let's actually clean up this little part right here. I think that'll be fine. Alrighty! Yay! One more little detail. Okay, wait, this is really cute. Ah! Wait, hold on. Ugh. Eyebrows. I hate drawing eyebrows. Unless they're big chunky ones, in which case I love them, but other little line eyebrows I'm always fiddling with. There we go. Ah! Yay! Wait, hold on. Control C, Control V. Just get those lines a little bit thicker. Maybe make a little bit bigger. Haha, yeah. I swear I'm done. Almost done fiddling. I'm almost done fiddling. I swear. I swear. I can stop anytime. Maybe I just stop trying to make that a thing. Yeah. Okay, wait, this is cute. One other thing I did want to block. I wanted to at least block out her jacket. So it's blue here from there. Her patchwork jacket is like really cool. I honestly I would love a jacket like hers like this any day of the week. Looks like it's the same all the way around actually, so let's just do that. Then around the shoulder is when it starts. There we go. around? Yeah, it does. Okay. And she's got little pockets. Hold on. Let me do this. I swear I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Squishing the button against your face. Yeah. Ugh. I'm such a sucker for whenever people draw their like VTubers and their mascots just like really, really sweet, just doting on one another. I don't know. I think it's always just a really sweet gesture. It's just really cute. Okay, so it's smaller line. There we go. Okay. I think that's as much detail as I want to really do right now. I'll do my best to do the rest at another time. See, where can I add some of that? I've got to add the little. There we go. There we are. Okay. Alrighty. Yay! Let's do Control Save. There we go. Alrighty, so we've got our 2 line arts done. Yippee! On the top, we've got Apollo Bugman and the little grub, and then we got Raggy Chiffon and her little buddy. Ah, I'm so happy. Oh, these turned out really, really good, actually. Alrighty, but I think with that, I am going to start winding down. So let me just do. Let me switch over to winding down. Oh, hold on. There we go. Alrighty. Thank you all so much for stopping by. It was so much fun talking. Oh my gosh, it was a lot of fun talking and drawing and all that stuff. As I mentioned before, I recently released a cover with the wonderful NAJU. I have it pinned in the link here. I have the link pinned in chat here. And then I'll also link it whenever this VOD goes up on YouTube. I'm gonna eventually put the link in the description there as well. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for letting me yap about my process and all that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited this cover's finally out and stuff. Anyway, let's see who is live that I could raid over to. I don't see anybody I know. Oh wait, hold on a second. I do think I see somebody. Give me 1 second. I always forget how to do this. Creator dashboard. Community. I always forget how to do this. Oh. Wait, hold on. How to raid on Twitch. Don't judge me. Don't judge me for Googling this. Oh, it's in the creator dashboard. Okay. Oh god, I feel like an old man. I feel like an old man who doesn't know how to do shit. Click raid. Quick action. Sorry for this. I swear I'm more put together usually. Since streaming tool is now. Grr, what's going on? Why can't I find it? Ah! Where is the quick action? Hold on a second. Oh, hold on. Is the music still playing? Hopefully the music's still playing. All right. You know what? This is too long. Anyway, folks, just have a good rest of your day. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for stopping by. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Do something nice for yourself. Oh, and listen to me and NAJU's cover of Magnet. Yippee!